I'm going to show you how I load my piping bags and what piping bags I use and all stuff like that. So I use Ilauke piping bags. So that's I-L-A-U-K-E, Ilauke. They are from Amazon. Now these are the only piping bags I've found that don't burst. And also they've got this sort of textured outside layer which is really good for gripping. So these are amazing. They are 15 inches long. You don't need those sort of massive blue ones because there's too much piping bag. It gets in your way, especially if you're doing sort of intricate work and stuff like that. So these are the bags I use. Now, I always have this vase. I've got loads of them. But this is from Sainsbury's. If you're in the UK, obviously you can get them. But it's what I use to load my bags. It's literally a game changer because it keeps your hands clean. You can do two-toning easier if you load your bag. So basically, once you've got your piping bag in there, it fits perfectly over there and you're able to then two-tone and do whatever you need to do and your hands are free. So you don't get it everywhere. Because when you hold and load a bag, you can end up getting it up your arm and everywhere. It gets an absolute mess. So, loading a nozzle. I always put my nozzle in first. A lot of people cut it first, then put the nozzle in, but you don't know how big you need it. So I always put the nozzle in first. Push it right to the end, so that can't go any further now. Then pull it back a little bit. Cut the end. That is perfect. It's just past the opening there. That is exactly where I want my piping bag to be cut. Because if I cut it up here, as soon as you put the buttercream in and squeeze, that will just pop off. So you need it just past where the opening is. So that's how I do it for these ones. For the Russian nozzles, which are considerably bigger, they are renowned for popping off. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. It generally happens when your buttercream is too stiff. So try and make sure your buttercream is fairly soft. Not really soft, but fairly soft. But again, push it right to the end. Pull it back a tiny bit. I've got my thumb where I need to cut it. Cut across. Again, that is perfect. It's literally just past the lip there. And you'll find that won't pop off unless, like I say, your buttercream is too stiff. Then it will pop off. Doesn't matter what piping bag you're using. It generally only happens with these because they're so big. But that's where you want it cut. Just past, it's literally cut there. That's how you want to do it for the Russians. And for all the other nozzles, same again. Load your piping bag in, push it to the end. Pull it back a bit, then cut. There's nothing more annoying. If you cut it without doing this, you'll waste so many bags. You cut it too high up and that's when it will just pop off. See, I've cut that one slightly too short because it's covering the end of that nozzle there. So pull it back again. Trim a tiny bit more off. That's perfect now. And that's how I load a piping bag. Now, when you're actually piping, do not overload your bag. I don't have any more than that in my piping bag. If you fill your piping bag to the brim with buttercream, you will not control what is coming out the other end. So make sure there's minimal amount in your bag at all times. So say if I had buttercream in there and twisted it, my little finger is always in line with the end of the nozzle. That is the perfect amount to have in there. And the biggest rule with all buttercream flowers, certainly when you're piping them, or any form of buttercream piping actually, is to make sure your bag is super tight at all times. So even if you've done one petal, say, and it feels slightly loose, stop and tighten your bag. You'll get really nice smooth petals then. So you probably find a lot of the time with your roses, say if you're doing a large petal rose and you get a frilly edge, it's purely because your piping bag is not tight enough. So I hope this helps. Enjoy.